Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of Teacher Spotlight. I'm Corey Washington. I'm in the Division of Curriculum and Instruction, and I'm here today with Miss Aaliyah Muhammad. She's a teacher, English teacher at Fresh Start Middle High School. Welcome, Miss Muhammad. Thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so we're going to get into just a couple of questions, and then I actually have a slide presentation that I have together from a snapshot of your classroom that we're going to go into, and then we'll just have a good conversation. All right? All right, so tell us about yourself and your experiences in public education.
Well, I always worked in public education. So my first job was in Irvington High. I worked there for about 3 years.
Okay.
As a high school English teacher, that was my first experience in the classroom. But no, that was my first experience as a certified teacher. But prior to that, I was a long-term sub in Jersey City at various schools.
Okay.
And with that experience, I did that during, all through college because I got 60 credits really, really fast. I became a junior really fast when I enrolled in school.
Okay. So you've been in Irvington and Jersey City, and you came to East Orange, and we're so happy to have you here because you have a wealth of information and knowledge that we wanted to just share with teachers today. What's your educational philosophy?
Well, even before I go into the educational philosophy, even I said I was a substitute in Jersey City, but after 3 years of working at Irvington High, I actually worked in Jersey City. I worked for the Bridges program in Jersey City at Academy One. It's a blue ribbon school in Jersey City, really good school. And the Bridges program is an alternative program for the kids in Jersey City that are not able to manage their educational career in a regular facility.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then with that, when working in schools like that and working in Jersey City, working in Irvington, I've actually developed a style based off of the students that I've met, the encounters I've had, and all of my experiences. So when I talk about my philosophy of education, sometimes as public, like, I would like to say, like, sometimes I want to say that I'm a victim of public school education. But when I say victim, I say a victim, and I use that word, I would say lightly because, growing up in the school system, growing up in Jersey City myself, I felt like a lot of teachers that, simply came to school to get their paycheck. They weren't really as active. They didn't really take the time out to get to know me and know a lot of the potential things I could have done, or even unlock different interests that I had in school. I don't feel like that ever was done. So with that being said, and with me becoming a teacher, I pretty much use my educational experiences to help build my philosophy, which is to make sure you're able to educate the whole student. And when I say the whole student, you want to be able to educate the student from within then out, because you want to take the time to get to know your student and make sure you actually know them. That's why I create activities and projects that incorporate English education, but at the same time, you have to give our scholars the opportunity to merge their own life with what we're teaching. So, because if it's not a connection between a student and what they're doing in their own personal life and the work that we're trying to teach them, what's the point of them actually wanting to make the connection or even feeling like they need to know the work? You have to
make it meaningful, purposeful, relevant to them.
To know what their interests, what they like, what are some of the things they do at home. Because if you know those things, and when you're creating your lesson, you can use that to actually, even if it's a set, if it's a set, okay, even if it's a set, like a set program of what the kids are usually have to do. But if you know your students, you can actually advance that and make them and force them to be more engaged just by taking those few extra minutes to add more to the lesson to make sure that they understand or they are able to connect, because the connection is the most important thing.
So, I mean, that just led right into my next question. You just answered the next one because I wanted to just highlight that you're one of our new teachers. You just started in the beginning of November here in East Orange at Fresh Start Middle High. And I see that how important it is for you to establish those relationships. So you just saying that right there really solidifies what it is that you're doing within your classroom. So let's go into one of the things that inspired you to develop your class as a place of a unique learning environment. So right here, I have a slide presentation of just you right in your classroom. Can you just tell us just briefly about a couple of the pictures that we have here? I see right here, it says teacher conference. What do you do at the teacher conference table?
So say for instance, so I have two different functions in my class. So the teacher conference works, like say for instance, if we're working on stations, the teacher conference will be a part of the station, because within it, based off what my students need or what's going on with their grades or their assignments or what they're not meeting, I will take the time to pull them from the actual station, and we would take that time to conference with each other to get each other on track and figure out what's going on. Or like sometimes we have kids that are just may not just be doing an assignment, and it might be a particular reason, or they don't like it, or they don't know how to do it, or they did it prior, or they attempted to do it but didn't finish. And it's always a reason, because if the kids are engaged, they want to do the work. You just got to figure out what is the best solution for them to get to actually getting it done.
Right, absolutely. So the conference for that.
So that's one part. Yes, so that's one way that I use it. Or for instance, when kids first come in the classroom, that they have a daily routine and they're doing journals. And during journal time, they take the first 10 to 15 minutes in class and actually respond to various journal topics. And while they're doing the journal topic, I'll call them over in conference and take the time to, even if I need to reteach some things, I'll take that small period of time conference with them just to get them on track.
That's important. It is very important to just, you're basically monitoring and adjusting. So when you see the teacher conference time is available and that when they're working independently, you can pull a small group of students or just individual students to work with them as well, right?
Right. And then the interesting part is, because most of the time if they're doing an assignment, they'll say, Ms. Muhammad, I want to do my assignment. So what I usually do is I use my signature. My signature looks like a doctor's signature. So when I sign, that means that they're excused.
Okay. I love it. Being flexible with it. So right here, what is this? I see it says class rituals, and I know you were explaining to me a little bit about it. Can you just tell the audience what you have established in your classroom?
So as you guys heard, I didn't start work until November. And whether I work in a middle school, high school, or elementary, I think it's very important to establish classroom rituals and laws, just so that we can have a foundation. So for me, when I look at the classroom, I try to get the kids to understand that when you're in the classroom, this is your home, because you spend a majority of your time in the classroom. So I correlate the classroom to the home. So if you see it's a house that's drawn there, that's my literal artwork. I'm not that I don't draw that well.
It's okay.
It's the idea that get students involved in actually establishing the rituals and regulations for the class. So when you look at the house, anything that's inside the house are the behaviors that belong in the house, all the positive behaviors. Anything that you should be doing that's positive, that always should happen in our classroom. And what I do is I get the students to tell me what are the behaviors that should go in the classroom, and then we talk about what are the behaviors that should go outside of the classroom. So once we establish that, a lot of times when we are in class and we're working and the students get off track, one way to bring them back especially if they're violating or going against the rules, just point at the house and be like, come on.
Right, right,
Point at the house.
right.
And they get it, because if you want have to keep doing, repetition is the father of learning. You keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. All you're doing is pointing. And it really get our students to, stop what they're doing, think about, okay, maybe I'm breaking the rule, and fix it, and let's move on with our education.
All right. I love it. I love it. So a part of those rituals, you have those routines up. I see that you've already got these. These are laminated. Yeah, teachers love to laminate, right? So you have
Yes.
these are basically one of those like kind of like non-negotiables in your classroom, right? So you want to just talk really briefly about that?
Yes. So I really believe in routines, because with routines, students they can't sit there and say, I don't know what to do.
Right,
That's always their favorite
right,
line. I
right.
don't know what to do. Well, what we got to do next? So to avoid that and save time, what I do is get them used to following a daily routine. So every day
Hmm.
they come in, they line up at the door. You walk in, first thing you do, you grab your journal. Once you
Right,
grab your journal, you go to your seat. You can take your book bag off, get
right.
comfortable. But when you look at the board, you're going to see the date, you're going to see the objective, you're going to see the DOL, and you're going to see a do now.
Yes.
So when you see all of that on the board, the only thing you need to do is you copy the date. Then you need to write a title in your journal, which will be do now. But if you're fancy and you want to create a title for whatever you're writing, you can do that as well.
Okay.
Then once you do that, we start writing. But before you write, I encourage them read the DOL so you know what we're doing next.
Okay.
After you read the DOL, then start your journal,
Hmm.
and you'll read the journal. So as of right now, we're working on trying to get them to write paragraph, like at least 2 paragraphs within 15 minutes, so that we can
Okay.
start getting our writing as
Yes,
equivalent
getting
as
that
our
muscle
reading, get it
bigger,
all
right? You're
together.
exercising that muscle. Yes,
Right.
yes.
So now we're so slowly evolving, but we're there. First, some of my kids weren't able to do one paragraph, but we're up to we got them doing a paragraph, and we have some students that are superseding the 15 minutes, where they already now have they on to 2 paragraphs, and they're asking me to hurry up and build everyone else up.
All
So
right. I love
we're,
it.
we're, we're working, we're working.
Awesome.
And so once they do the journal, they do their journal, and then after the journal, after we share our journals, talk about it, we also have like I have little songs that they sing in between to just encourage them and keep them going. My high school students, they don't sing the songs with me. I sing them by myself. But
Okay.
they look, and sometimes when the clapping part come, they do it. But
Okay.
my middle school students, they will sing along and clap along.
Love it. I
Mm.
love it. Keep them engaged, even if they're like, I'm not, maybe I'm a little too old, but it's okay
Mhm.
because they want all of that. They know that they love it because I guarantee you, if you didn't do it one day, they'd look at you and say, Where's the song?
But some of the high school kids, like as I keep doing the repetition, I see them mumbling it.
Uh-huh.
So I
Right.
know eventually they're gonna
Exactly.
start getting with it.
Yes.
I know
Yes.
it.
I love it. So we see I have here Panther of the Month. I have that. I see some money that you have out in your classroom. Can you talk about the Panther of the Month and the what's going on with the money? What's happening?
Okay, so with the Panther of the Month, so what I do, I have an internal contest within class going on with Learning Ally. If at the end of the semester, whichever student reads the most books. So if you read the most books for the semester, it's going to be a first place winner, second place winner, and a third place winner. The
Okay.
first place winner will be able to eat lunch with me. The second place winner will be able to get a free homework pass, and then the third place winner will have a gift box to choose out of prizes,
Okay.
and that's for Panther of the Month. And then this money right here, this is represents our money game, and what it does is it encourages the use of vocabulary, sophisticated language, and things of that nature. So what
Love it.
while they're doing their journal, my students also have to keep their computer on their desk, because while they're doing their journal, they're also converting their small words into sophisticated language. And
Awesome.
we use vocabulary as one of the tiered tools. So their vocabulary words, I usually have them displayed on the board, but they have like a knowledge ring with all the vocabulary words that we learned so far. And
Okay.
what they do is they when they notice like, okay, I can use a vocabulary word, they incorporate it into their journal. So when they're reading and when they go to share, they earn money every time they use a sophisticated word or a vocabulary word. They earn money, and the person who wins the most money at the end of the semester, they're
Mm-hmm.
going to they're going to be able to have a pizza party, a pizza party for themselves, and they can
Okay.
invite their two friends to their pizza party, and that'll be the first runner, and then the second winner could win a homework pass, or they could choose from the gift box of gifts, and then
Okay.
the third person can choose from the gift box of gifts.
Okay.
And those
Love
are
it.
so those are just two of the games. And then because we're at an alternative school, we have
Mm-hmm.
like a plethora of things that we do as far as the point systems and things like that to encourage our students to behave and get their work done so that they can move back on to the different schools in the district.
Absolutely.
Another game that we do, I don't think we talked about it, but
Okay.
I have like these snow globes, and what I do is every day, if the kids, everybody who come in with their point sheets, if everybody get a 3 on a point sheet and everyone
Right.
turn their point sheet in, the class get a marble. So
Okay.
whoever's snow globe is filled up the fastest, it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter when it is, the day stopped, we're having a party.
All
And
right.
in this
Okay.
party, we'll be able to do we'll work on we'll have different games, different things we could talk about, different discussions. It's gonna be free time with your teacher, and then we're gonna have different things just to keep us entertained. And that's gonna be the gift for the class for basically following the rules, doing what they gotta do, and making sure they're getting their point sheets together so that they
Mm-hmm.
can make the transition out of the school.
Oh, I love it. So you have a lot of different things and incentives that are engaging to your students. First, let's talk about what are some of those insights and things for teachers. What do you have for your fellow educators? What can you kind of give to your fellow educators during the pandemic?
Um, well, what we learned, well, all of us as educators, what we learned is that during the pandemic, we learned that you do not need a physical classroom to
Mm,
actually teach. We
right,
do not
right.
need to go into the building to make sure our kids are obtaining the information that's necessary. So I think that when you, especially in East Orange District, for the English department, if you look at our curriculum, the way it's aligned is tiered, and it have different tools to help our kids. So, with that being said, the best advice that I could give to any educator is that despite whether we're in class or not, we have all of these various teaching tools.
Right.
It's imperative that you find what are the best ones for you in the
Yes.
population that you teach so that you can use those tools to educate, because our kids, they be on a computer, they love computers, they love technology.
Right.
So why aren't we taking the time to find out all of these new inventions so that we can get our kids really uh
Engage.
engaged, yes. And also they and most of the internet tools, the applications, they
Right.
have different tiers to add rigor. You can pull a rigor away. It's a lot of different things that is there that will help us educate our kids, especially making them 21st century learners.
Gotcha. I appreciate that. I love it because in the classroom or remote, whatever it is that we're doing, we're still here to deliver instruction. And that
Mhm.
is a key thing that we got to make sure that we tap into our resources and the tools that we have been given by the district. Because the one thing I always say is East Orange is not lacking resources. I think that
Not at
we have,
all.
right, we have a lot that we offer our teachers. And I think that the teachers definitely can benefit from it, and then in turn it trickles down and benefits the students as well. I just want to take the time to say thank you so much for just being on camera doing this with all of us and just guiding us through your classroom. There's so much more that we could go into, but I want to just make sure that everybody gets a chance to just get a feel for who Miss Muhammad is. And I thank you so much. I thank Dr. Webb for allowing you to be a part of the teacher spotlight this month. All right.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Thank
I
you so
will
much.
enjoy.